Most home security systems today are quietly creating a problem that nobody names directly. The alarm goes off. Neighbors look, someone calls, and the person who triggered it is the one who lives there. This is not a rare glitch. It is a pattern, and it follows a specific profile of homeowner more than any other. Notice the risk. Adults living alone often manage their entry routines under pressure. Keys, bags, medications, phones. The sequence is never exactly the same. A standard alarm system was not designed around that reality. It was designed around a household where multiple people share the entry load. When one person carries everything, the margin for error at the door shrinks to almost nothing. The 30-second countdown that most systems use was established decades ago. It reflects a different kind of household entirely. It is widely observed that solo homeowners trigger more false alarms than multi-person households, not because of carelessness, but because of physics and the reality of arriving alone. This changes safety. A false alarm is not just embarrassing, it initiates a response chain. Monitoring centers call, neighbors notice. In some municipalities, repeated false alarms result in fines or delayed emergency response prioritization. That last part is the risk most people never consider. If a system flags your address repeatedly as a source of non-emergency calls, the pattern is recorded. Response calibration can shift quietly, administratively, without any notification to you. The social layer compounds this. Neighbors who witnessed repeated false alarms begin to mentally categorize the address as low signal. That perception has real consequences. When an actual emergency occurs, notice the pattern. What creates this cycle is not the alarm itself, it is the entry architecture. The sequence of steps required to move from outside to inside safely and without triggering a response. Most people have never mapped that sequence. Deliberately, they do it by habit. In habit, under physical load, poor lighting, or fatigue, is unreliable. The solution is not to disable the alarm. That removes a layer of genuine protection. The solution is to restructure the entry environment so that the sequence succeeds every time without rushing. This restructuring has a name in home safety planning. It is called the Controlled Entry Framework. The Controlled Entry Framework is not a device. It is a deliberate design of the physical and digital conditions at every entry point so that the homeowner controls the sequence. Rather than reacting to it, it has three components: physical access, ambient signal, and system response timing. Physical access refers to how the door opens. A keypad or smart lock eliminates the key fumble entirely. There is no searching, no dropped bag while reaching. One code, one motion, door opens. This single change removes the most common false alarm trigger. At the entry point, ambient signal refers to lighting. A motion-activated light, positioned at the exterior entry, gives the homeowner a clear visual field before they reach the door. In low light conditions, errors compound. A lit entry, the moment of arrival, is not comfort. It is operational precision. The third component, system response timing, is where most people have overlooked authority over their own setup. Most smart security panels allow the entry delay to be extended from 30 seconds to 45, 60, or even 90 seconds. This is not a security compromise. It is a calibration to the actual needs of the person using the system. Safety experts often suggest that the entry delay should reflect the realistic time required to enter, close the door, set down carried items, and reach the panel. For someone managing mobility, aids, groceries, or medical equipment, that time is longer than 30 seconds. Adjust it without guilt. The Controlled Entry Framework addresses all three variables simultaneously, not one at a time, not reactively, but as a design system that removes the conditions for error before they occur. A product that directly supports the ambient signal layer is a motion-activated smart floodlight with app-based scheduling, models with dusk-to-dawn automation, and adjustable sensitivity. Eliminate the need to remember to turn lights on or fumble for a switch. These are available through the link in the description and represent one of the highest return, lowest complexity additions to any entry safety setup. Now consider the interior side of the false alarm pattern. It is commonly experienced that the panel location creates as much pressure as the entry sequence itself. If the panel is positioned past a corner, down a hallway, or behind a door, every second of that walk adds cognitive and physical friction. Some systems now allow a secondary keypad to be placed closer to the primary entry. This means the disarm happens immediately upon entry, before bags are set down, before anything else. This is not redundancy, it is architecture. Recognize the gap. Beyond the physical layout, there is a behavioral component that shapes false alarm frequency. It is the inconsistency of the arrival routine. When the routine varies by even small degrees, the body's automatic sequence breaks. A slightly different bag position, an unexpected phone call during entry, a moment of physical discomfort. Any of these can interrupt the sequence. At exactly the wrong moment, the controlled entry framework accounts for this. By reducing the number of steps that require active attention, the smart lock removes one, the motion light removes another, the extended delay removes the time pressure. That turns small interruptions into alarm triggers. What remains is a sequence simple enough to complete even under distraction. It is widely observed that home safety systems work best when they are calibrated to the person, not the other way around. This is the shift that most security marketing never addresses. The system is sold as protection, but if the system's default settings create repeated false alarms, it is not protecting the homeowner. It is creating a public record of unreliable signals. From their address, that record has consequences that extend beyond embarrassment. Notice the risk. Emergency services in most areas operate with address history awareness. A home that has generated multiple false alarm calls may receive a different internal classification than a home with a clean signal record. This is not punitive policy in most places. It is operational triage, and it is one of the least discussed risks of an uncalibrated home security setup. The controlled entry framework directly reduces this risk by eliminating the conditions that produce false alarms. Before the alarm is triggered, prevention, not response. A secondary device worth integrating is a video doorbell with person detection and pre-arrival notification. When the system recognizes that you are approaching based on your phone's location, it can automatically extend the entry delay or pre-arm a welcome lighting sequence. This is not surveillance, it is signal management. The system knows you are the one arriving before you reach the door. Some models allow geofencing-based automation that adjusts alarm sensitivity as the primary resident approaches. This eliminates the countdown pressure almost entirely. Links to compatible models are in the description. Consider the broader independence signal embedded in this pattern. Every false alarm that results in a neighbor call or a monitoring center check-in creates a moment of external attention on the homeowner's daily routine. For adults who prioritize independence and the confidence of managing their home without friction, those moments accumulate into a quiet pressure. Over time, the controlled entry framework removes that pressure, not by hiding anything, but by making the entry so reliable that the alarm simply never fires unless it should. That reliability is what independent living actually requires. Not the absence of technology, but the calibration of it to the life being lived. It is commonly experienced that homeowners who invest in entry architecture report a measurable reduction in daily home management anxiety, not because the home became easier, but because the moments of potential failure were systematically removed. Recognize the shift. The pattern of false alarms is not a personality flaw. It is a design mismatch between a standard security product and a specific living situation, one that can be resolved with 3 calibrated changes and 2 well-positioned devices: physical access, ambient signal, system timing. These 3 elements, when aligned, create an entry environment where the alarm works as intended, silently, reliably, invisibly, and the homeowner moves through their own front door without pressure, without performance, without the quiet humiliation of a system that was never set up for the way they actually live. This is what safety for independent living actually looks like. Not louder alarms, not more cameras, fewer false signals, more reliable ones. The link in the description contains the specific products referenced in this framework, selected for ease of setup, compatibility with existing systems, and relevance to solo or low-traffic households. Review them at your own pace. The entry point is where safety either works or quietly fails, and now you know exactly where to look. This content is for informational purposes only. Product recommendations are general in nature. Consult a licensed professional before making changes to your home security system. Emergency response protocols vary by location. This channel does not guarantee specific outcomes from any device or configuration described.